Be young.
Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? You got it, you know I get it. You win it, you know I fit it. I speak it, you know it's written. You talking but never listen. Yo, 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 yo. What's up?
We are in Mr. Mike's office in Nowheresville, Anderson. But this is episode 6. Mr. Mike, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Mike Thickpen, and I'm the director of the Cultural Resource Center at Anderson University, and I also work at the Madison County Youth Center.
Fun times. Obviously, Emily's here too. So, it is Black History Month, as we all know. So our first topic is going to be something not related to Black History Month. It's actually about the Super Bowl that just happened.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I did not watch the Super Bowl.
Did you not watch it because you didn't want to watch it, or did you not watch it in support of Colin Kaepernick?
Oh, you know what? I will say not was because of Colin. It was mostly because I just decided not to watch it. This year, I had no players, no teams, and I felt like it's just over manufactured. So I wasn't doing it in solidarity. I kind of got caught up after that. I heard that people were not watching because of that. I went to sleep. I took a nap. I slept through the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched it. But a lot of people have been not watching the NFL because of the NFL's lack of job opportunities for Colin Kaepernick. Well, not really opportunities. Lack of job offerings for Colin Kaepernick, a quarterback who's done a lot in the NFL, went to a Super Bowl, didn't win it, but been there, very successful. How do you feel about what he's going through after he kneeled and now he doesn't have a job?
Well, I feel there's, he took a risk by taking a stand. Anytime we take a stand, anytime we make a personal protest, you got to be ready for that risk. So I'm grateful to the companies that are supporting him, the ones who are giving him, like, whether it's ad time or some other, vehicles to promote, himself or to provide for himself. So I'm grateful to those people. The NFL, there's some reckoning that needs to be done there. But they're also, I think Colin also would express, there are also other brothers that are playing in the NFL and they're making a living that way. And so even him taking a stand, it still speaks to them, even though they're in the NFL and they're still doing those things. I think he initiated a conversation because now the NFL has to talk about it. There are players who are playing who have to talk about it. So kudos to him for getting us all talking about it. I mean, we wouldn't talk about it if he didn't consistently take that. I keep saying take a stand, but he took a knee, and so I'm kind of grateful for that.
Well, I didn't know that it even existed for a long time because I just don't watch football. But I think what he said was nicely said, and I would agree. Like he did something, so there are consequences for that. But at the same time, like people are talking about it so much so, like I know Nike's had backlash and everything.
Yeah. I took a knee my freshman and sophomore year when I was playing football, and this coming year we had a new coach, so I didn't want to take a knee and get kicked off. That's really like my honest statement. Because I feel like if I would have took a knee and like kind of blindsided them, I would have got kicked off. I don't want to get kicked.
Did y'all discuss it though? Did y'all have a conversation about it?
No, I really wanted to, but it was just like he doesn't know me like me. Mm-hmm. He knows like what I am on a piece of paper, my GPA. I've never gotten in trouble, all that other stuff. He doesn't know who I am. I feel like now he knows who I am, but at this point, I'm not gonna say I'm over taking a knee, but it's like I don't put my hand over my heart. I don't do all that stuff because I don't agree with the song
Okay.
and when it was made.
Okay.
You know,
Mhm.
there's a lot of controversy with that in the Constitution when they say all men are treated equally. But who back then, black people weren't men
Mhm.
to them.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
language. So I think we should have a new song. I mean, it's not that hard to have a new song.
Mhm.
People hate it, but people hate everything these days.
But did the team have a conversation about it, like
Nope.
taking a knee or
No.
not taking a knee? Okay. But you just you sense that you probably would have been. Okay.
in big trouble at least.
Okay. All right. And so you made a decision from that.
Yeah,
From that.
just
Do you
to.
regret making that decision? I'm asking a lot of questions.
Do I regret?
This is your show. I'm asking you
No, it's
questions.
fine.
Your
It's
show.
fine. It's not about that.
Okay.
Do I regret making that decision? Yes, because I felt like I was giving in to the man,
Okay.
so to speak.
Okay.
But then but another leaf, I love football, so it's like my morals and my passion. So it's like a really tough situation. I caught a lot of flack for doing that my first 2 years, and I stood by it. Teammates, people, coaches, but I stuck with it, and thank God nothing ever kicked off or nothing crazy happened to me outside or outside the football field. But
So since you started this conversation,
yeah,
like you said, you regret not taking the knee.
I do.
Do you think Colin regrets taking the knee?
No, he doesn't, because if he would have regretted, he would went back. He would have came back to football and said, "I'm not going to take the knee." But he's had a stance. He's not going to stand up.
I think it's a powerful statement for him to be consistent so long.
Yes, and it's costing him millions of dollars too.
Costing him a lot.
Yeah, it's not just some chump change. It's just an NFL player whose career is pretty much over.
And it will cost you. Anytime you take a stand for anything, it's going to cost you. And it's when people who sacrifice multiple times over, taking smaller stands. He used the national stage to take a stand, and that's bold. Most people won't get a national stage. Like even you playing football, that's not a national stage.
Right, that's a local stage.
Local
right.
academic stage. So people say, it was like, oh, there was that kid, whatnot.
Right,
but
right.
he took probably the highest level stand that he could, that could cancel him out. But I think in the times that we live in, when we hear things on the news and everything from government on, where people are saying, making some very bold statements, his statement needed to be that, like that, because we're in a time where people are making some bold statements. And you're like, did they even say that? Did they really just, let their mouths speak that? And they did. So him making that statement is huge. It's just huge.
Next topic, segueing. This does have to do with Black history. In America, do you think it is okay for anyone to either have the Confederate flag or wear apparel or gear, anything like that with the Confederate flag?
That's hard. It's kind of, I know people pair that kind of with freedom of speech, like their right to wear what they want. It's like that's under the category of speech. But at the same time, it is offensive to a lot of people, so it's like stepping on toes. And I think sometimes it is intentional. Some people really are just like,
Ignorant. Not ignorant as in don't know, but ignorant as in I don't care.
Yeah.
To anybody's feelings.
Yeah. Well, I was not even saying that. I was gonna say like they're just kind of country, and so like they probably don't
Yeah, but
even think about it being a bad thing, or like even attach it to that. So they're not doing it to be negative, but like just because it's kind of cultural in a way for them. But like ultimately, I don't know, because I mean, you don't see people wearing a swastika, like, and
And to me, that's the same concept.
it is kind of
Not kind of. To me, it is.
Mhm.
different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it because we live in a world that's very diverse and it's not like all Christians. I'm gonna go the Christian route, okay? So the Christian route or the biblical route is like, you know, if meat offends your brother, then don't eat it. And if we live in a world that was more, whether Christian or more biblical, in its approach, and we say, you know what, I know this is offensive to you, so I won't do that in your presence. I won't say that in your presence, or I know it harms you. First, let me get understanding. Most times, you know, we want people to understand us. Man, this is my point. This is what I feel. Blah blah blah. But sometimes we need to sit back and just like try to get an understanding. So I would talk to the person and say, hey, why do you feel you need to wear that? And then why do you feel you need to have that flag? I would have that conversation, and then get their understanding, their background, their reasoning, and then share my understanding. And then if we are truly brothers or have some ability to share a common ground, somebody should be able to say, you know what, I'm willing to put that away for you because it hurts you or it offends you. And I think that's what so many things in life and whatnot. I mean, down to like somebody who cusses all the time. You like, beep, 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 beep. But then when they get around certain people, they were like, oh, I'm not gonna do that because I'm around this person. Because they have respect for that person, or they know it offends. Okay, it offends that person, so they change their language and whatnot. And I think when you care about people, we're willing to make changes and adjustments for them. And I think it's more about a people thing. It's about caring about people and caring about those who are around you and whatnot. It may not totally change you, but I'm willing to adapt for my community and environment. Just like the university. There's certain things at the university or stances for the university that we sign off on, like, we're not going to drink, we're not going to have sex, we're going to live in community. So we sign off on all these things and say this is part of living in a community. But that may not be our reality outside of the community. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, when a person when they turn 21 and they're no longer part of the university, we're probably 22, they may choose to participate in certain behaviors that are not consistent with the community. But while I'm in the community, I choose to adapt to that environment. And that's a people thing.
I don't think people should do anything with the Confederate flag or anything like that. I find it offensive, and for some reason we see it a lot in Indiana, which is super weird to me. Granted, we're right by Kentucky, so I guess Kentucky is somewhat south, but sort of, kind of, not really. My family's from Alabama. You see it all the time, and it's just like they lost. They lost, and people seriously say, "Oh, it's part of my heritage and whatnot." I mean, your ancestors were racist, then obviously there's no doubt about it. You treated my people as property and not people, and I don't think that's acceptable. But some people are just going to do what they want to do, and I think they should take all the monuments down, all the statues, just take all of it down. Because what it represents is not what any of our past presidents in the recent times has talked about. They always talk about diversity, equal opportunity and whatnot. Well, having those monuments up is not what we represent anymore. And they lost.
Which monuments? You mean like ones related to the Civil War?
On the Confederate side.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, I'm like, keep him up, but then put it at the bottom of it, and he lost. You know what I mean? Like, tell the story. I think it's important to tell the story. Like, when you do go to like places, certain museums, you put them in museums.
That's true.
Because it's a part of the history. It's part of the history, but we need to tell the full story. Don't parade something as victorious when it wasn't. So I think it's more of like communicating. We put this up to remind us that this was a losing battle, that this person lost. So I think that's kind of important, just to change the narrative of it. So.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. It's like it needs to be known that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a winner.
Didn't win. We didn't win. Didn't win.
One thing that we talked about last week, because it was February 1st,
Okay.
we all went around and we said, what does Black History Month mean to you? So I'm going to ask you this. What does Black History Month mean to you?
Wow. So, that's funny you asked that, because people have different definitions of what
Absolutely.
Black History Month
Absolutely.
means to them. I feel it's a time to remember, and it's a time to remind. So, remember, for those who are students of their culture, students of their own history, it's a time to kind of go back and remember. I noticed even on like Netflix, they have a black movies section where you can go and see all these different black movies. I thought that was really cool that they did that they kind of honored, you know, these directors and writers and actors. And I thought that was really great. But I think it's a time to really to remember what we have come through as a people, and what we've created, what we have built, what we have been able to come through and still be here. And then it's also an opportunity to remind. And when I say remind, it might be more teaching others and sharing with others. So it's not, sometimes we think about Black history as like, oh, this is my thing. And no, but it's our thing, because Black history is really for everybody. It's just that we're celebrating the journey of a people that have impacted the world. So it's not just like, you know, I'm celebrating me, by myself, just with my little, you know, group and whatnot. But it's like, listen, bring in white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, people from the Caribbean, people from other places who may not have the African American experience, and saying, I want to tell you the story of how we came over, how we got over, how we arrived to this point. And so I think it's a powerful celebration. Some people think it's a time of shame. You can only be ashamed of what you did. So that if you didn't do it, then celebrate. You don't have to be ashamed. I recently saw an email from a alum. They posted on Facebook site, so it wasn't an email, but they were just talking about that this is a whole month where white people get shamed, and it's like, no, that's not what it is, because shame is a part of something that you only can be ashamed of what you did. If I did it, then I should be ashamed of it. But if I didn't do something, I have no reason to be ashamed of it. All I really should do is say, man, that was horrible what happened, but here I am on this side of this thing, and I'm celebrating. So maybe I need to go into a cultural immersion. Maybe I need to explore with my African American friends. Hey, it's Black History Month. Show me something. You should have taught me this a long time ago. Let's go do something together. It's a time to remind and whatnot. And so when I say remind, it's not like, Black history is more than slavery. Oh, let me say that. Well, more than slavery. For some reason, people say Black history, and the first thing they go back to is roots.
Frederick Douglass.
Okay, they're like, man, or Harriet Tubman. I want to let you know, yeah, that was part of the journey, but let's talk about the other spaces that we have occupied. Let's talk about Washington Carver. Let's talk about all these different politicians, these performers, these athletes, these doctors, these lawyers, these people who have created and saw things that we never would have known, you know, people who have been into space, you know, and you know what that means. So it's a bigger thing. It's so much bigger than we make it.
Wow, that's excellent. Go back to a lighter topic.
Okay.
So last week we went to our favorite Black musicians. This week I went to Black actors and films. So we're going around and name our favorite Black actor, and then we're going around again and name our favorite Black film.
Family?
Favorite Black film.
Oh, for film.
Yeah.
I said family.
Black film is like,
Define family. Famous?
Black film is like lead actor, actresses, maybe director, but you know, a lot of Black directors don't necessarily, or a lot of Black movies necessarily don't have a Black director, and vice versa.
That's hard. I don't know my directors.
You don't have to know your director. Just name like the
Okay.
film.
It's like I don't know any.
Okay. Actor first.
Okay, so this is really hard. This is complicated. It's like asking somebody your favorite song.
So yeah.
Okay, it's very hard.
It's
But
supposed to be easy.
But, and this is probably, if my family watches this, my family would answer something totally different than what I'm about to say right now. So I give myself right to change my mind. Classically, throughout history, I've always said my favorite movie is The Color Purple, right?
Oh my gosh.
Because I grew up watching The Color Purple, and I thought it was just excellently produced. Steven Spielberg, you have all these great characters: Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, Danny Glover. And I usually can't call names, but tonight I'm good right now. But yeah, really good for me, right? But that was the movie that really kind of like culminated this great story about survival and life. But if I can change my mind, I would say that Viola Davis is probably right now one of the greatest actresses. No, let me say it. Greatest actors, because we got to take that off. She's in her own right of this time, and I love what she's doing with black women and encouraging them to be themselves. She talks the talk and she walks the walk. She recently I saw a video where she was saying, why can't I be the love interest in this show? Because people say, well, you can't be the love interest in this movie or whatnot. And so she asked the question, well, why can't I? And she said the most powerful thing you could ever ask is why. So I love that about her. But the way that she carries herself and the way that she gets across on the camera. So, I'm watching crazy stuff that I would never watch, like How to Get Away with Murder. I would never watch that. But this woman has me watching it.
I love that show.
Yeah, because of the way that she portrays herself and this character. She's believable. I believe she is Annalise Keaton sometimes. But I've seen her, so to say my favorite movie, which is not really a movie, but it's a play adapted to a movie, because if she's the actor that I want to pick, I would say Fences. Classic.
That movie, oh
Classic.
goodness.
People don't like it because it doesn't. It's a play. It's a play. It's not. So you don't have all these different scenes. You don't have all this extra stuff. But man, when that woman stands in that yard and she tells.
That'd be spoiling the movie for the people who ain't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I.e. her.
No, yeah, okay. no, don't worry. That's the other movie I watched. No, it's
on our list. It's on our list.
It's on the list. It's on the list. And what's so crazy about it, I had read the play in high school, but really didn't get it. But to see it,
My dad said the same thing.
yeah, to get it, performed the way that it was, and then also to have Denzel as the cross actor with her. That interaction was perfect. Her lines, her portrayal of the lines, it said so much and went so much deeper than any other portrayal I've seen of it. I could have never imagined it to be that way, and it was excellent. So she is, and the writer for Fences, because I wanted to make sure I got that. Yeah, I know his name. I lost that, but it'll come back to me later because he's done some other plays. He's done a lot of plays, but he also is a black man. So you have this all black production, that's done really well. So yeah.
That was hard for me because I don't know. I don't have as good of an explanation. I just really like Queen Latifah. I like her voice. She's an incredible voice. And I like all her movies. I haven't seen a movie with her in it that I just was like, yeah.
Okay. She's a great actress. I think she is.
She is. She's
Have
a
you
good
seen
actress.
the movie where she played what's her name? Betty.
Should I ask?
She was an old like singer. No, Bessie.
Oh, Bessie. Yes. That was excellent.
Yeah, that's the best role I've ever seen her play.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
she's a good actress.
Movie.
Movie?
Watch a lot of movies, girl.
I do watch a lot of movies and here's my harder. I don't know. Okay, wait. The question is like, does it have to be all black people?
No, but like majority, like lead lead,
Black
at
Widows.
least the lead, at least. And I'll.
I got one. If she,
I will.
Oh, I've got a few, but
Okay, come on.
but I don't know if they count.
And I will let you know.
Because he's picky.
Okay.
No, I'm not picking. I'm just saying, like.
Well, one that I would say, the first one that came to my mind when you asked it was Hitch with Will Smith. I love that movie. And I've been to that museum that they go to in the beginning with the books of all the
Okay.
names, and she like freaks out.
What else?
Well, the other one was gonna be Hairspray. Cause it's part. But
What
I like.
did she play in here?
I like
I
musicals.
can't remember. I can't
Oh,
remember.
well, she's the mom.
She's the mom.
Oh,
Queen
okay.
Latifah played the mom. Okay,
Okay.
what else?
I was trying to remember.
And
What else?
my favorite song in that whole movie. She's
What else?
singing.
You remember?
I like The Color Purple too. When you said that, that
Okay.
one was awesome.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
These my movies don't count.
So
I
rich.
like chick flicks.
And musicals.
serious.
Have you seen The Wiz?
Yeah, I've seen The Wiz.
Yeah,
It's
she
a little
was-
long for me.
Oh. He just did the face like.
I liked the live version
I
a
watched.
lot. It has the guy from Hairspray in it.
Okay,
Ryan
and
Kelly.
Queen Latifah was in that.
I watched The
Okay.
Sound of Music
And it
with
had
you.
Neo
and
in
this
it.
is the longest movie on
You
earth.
loved it.
I did love The Sound of Music.
You loved it.
You said The Wiz is a little long? The Sound of Music
okay,
is the
the
longest
first-
movie on
I
earth.
haven't watched The Wiz since I was like 7 or 8.
Okay.
Okay,
And
you
it
so
was
you watched.
very long.
So you
then.
watched the Michael Jackson version.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
With
So
Whitney Houston, and I love Whitney Houston.
wait, hold on, no,
she-
no.
Or did I mean somebody else?
Come on, girl.
Whitney.
I messed up. Who's
Yeah,
in
Whitney.
it?
Diana
Ross.
Ross.
Diana I love Whitney Houston.
It's okay.
I know the difference.
It's okay.
I apologize.
You seen Sparkle?
It just came out. Huh?
You seen Sparkle?
What's it
With
about?
Whitney Houston? It's about a girl named Sparkle.
No.
Yeah, that was
the
I
second
haven't.
version.
It's alright, yeah. I've seen the first.
You saw the
They're
first
both-
with
they're
Diana.
both-
What's that movie where
Irene
she's an
Cara.
actress?
They're both only alright.
The Bodyguard.
Okay, yeah, the bodyguard. Okay, but when you think of, when I think about Queen Latifah, one of her
Turn it off.
that's it. There's no
You seen Set It Off?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know
that
if I can
is
fit
probably the most epic, dramatic.
Because
Oh,
that
do I
was
have
her
to have
first-
an actress in it?
no,
Oh, okay.
that was like her first major role after living single. Because
Yeah.
everybody thought she was U-N-I-T-Y.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, she
But-
came out and she
Transformed
played.
herself.
Listen,
All four of those ladies did
all
great.
four of them, and that's why if you would have picked a predominantly African American movie that had, Queen Latifah in it, I would say Set It Off. Set It Off was like just ridiculous. All four of them. I mean, what's my girl name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just all of Kimmy Lee's. I can't think of the name.
Vivica.
Vivica, and then Jada. Those four women. Wow. I mean, you're
Powerful.
watching this. I think I want to watch that again, just because
Black History Month.
it had me on the edge of my seat because you want them to get away because you understand their struggle and their plight as women in a system that has turned its back on them, and they feel like I want to get it back and whatnot. They've lost so much. I mean, those four black women. That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
You know what? Whoopi Goldberg is a good actress too.
She is. She is.
She slowed down a lot.
Yeah, she has slowed down a lot.
She
Mhm.
was.
But when you said that about
She got
the
that view
Yeah.
money.
too, I was
She got
thinking,
that view
I
money.
used
She
to
ain't
love,
worried about the chicken.
what's the
Yeah.
one where they're nuns?
Sister Act.
Sister Act. I like Sister
Yeah.
Act too.
I could have been in Sister Act too.
Really?
I always tell people that story.
Yeah.
It's a long story.
Yeah,
I should have went to the audition.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But my favorite
Yes.
actor is. This is a tough one. This is very
I'm waiting.
tough.
I'm
It-
really waiting.
But it is a tie.
Oh,
I can't say no to either of these actors.
okay.
Number 1A is Denzel.
Okay.
Love Denzel. Super powerful. Have a wide variety of characters and a wide variety of movies. None of it was Samuel L. Jackson.
I knew you were
I-
gonna say
Love Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay. So I agree. Both of those are great characters.
He's played, Samuel Jackson has even played even more different characters. He was a Jedi, a gangster, a crackhead.
But I got a question for you. I'm
What?
gonna let you finish. Go and talk about Samuel. And
I love both. I love both of them. Samuel Jackson should he needs an Oscar too. That's just me. He's been in the most movies in Hollywood in the last 20-some years.
I will give you that. I will give you both of them. But I don't be a person of contention
No,
here.
you're fine.
But okay, good. When I think about Denzel, and I love Denzel. Denzel's great.
Yeah.
And I think about Samuel L. Jackson, right? Every movie they play themselves.
Mm.
Think about
Samuel Jackson. Let's see.
Think about their voices and the way they say things. Every time Denzel, even in Fences, when Denzel says his lines as Denzel. Denzel is his own brand. Samuel L. is his own brand. From Coming to America, okay, that was funny. Okay, Coming to America to the Capital One commercials. he's Samuel L. So when I think about actors, they're great. But give me an actor who can transform even themselves.
Who's a method actor?
Who can literally become somebody else.
I'll give you one. I'll give you a couple.
Okay, give me
Number
one.
one is Will Smith.
Um,
Listen, 7 pounds.
7
Pursuit of Happiness. Then he was the African doctor. Then he played Hitch.
yeah, but there's still
Then
like,
his first major role was Gay.
I
But
didn't watch that one.
Ah,
Yeah,
see?
But
6 degrees of separation.
okay, check this out. I will give you one I think will edge up. Okay?
Then what's his name? Marshall.
No. Go.
Yeah, I
Wait,
don't know how to
let's
pronounce his
just say
name.
this.
You
What's
ready?
his name?
Jamie Foxx.
Ooh.
People sleep on Jamie Foxx.
I like
Jamie Foxx did Ray. I believe Jamie Foxx was Ray. I believe he was Ray Charles. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
did the guy out on the streets.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called.
But Will Smith did Muhammad Ali.
I'll give you that.
And Denzel did Malcolm X.
Yes, they did.
And I
did
believe
weird.
he was Malcolm X.
Okay, I give you that. But I feel like Jamie Foxx chops are deeper. That guy, he sings, he
sing.
acts,
Comedian.
comedian. He has a fuller repertoire of things that he does. But I feel like he can pick. If you say, "Hey, I need you to be this person," he's gonna fall into that character.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I mean, all of those guys are good, but I think he is the what do you call it?
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, but sometimes the unsung hero of
Yeah.
acting. I don't think he gets the right props for what he does. Do you like Jamie Foxx?
For my ladies, for my lady black actors, I do love Viola Davis. She stole that one, but also,
Okay. Thank you.
also like it's a lot of different actresses I like. I do like Kerry Washington.
She's good. She is good.
I do like Taraji, even though she is the proof of fact. She has cried in every single one of the movies she did.
Oh well, hey,
As
I think Viola has
she
too.
is an ugly crier. Nobody can cry like Viola and Taraji.
that makes it more
Nobody.
real though. Ryan's not pretty.
Yeah, but and that's what makes it real.
But Viola snots and all that.
Yeah, hey, listen,
real.
that's
Bro,
classic. That's classic.
All
And Fences,
Oh,
everybody was
man.
like, "You can like that? No,
Ah.
don't like
I
that."
kinda like that.
I'm telling you, even when she was in
You can't-
How to Get Away from Murder, that was one scene when she was crunchy. It's
No
like,
makeup, no
oh,
nothing. She
just-
shows
that
it.
was
Oh.
real, and that's I love
I
that
like that
natural,
too.
and
I like
it
that
just
too.
endears you to her even
Is she the
more.
one that plays Michonne in The Walking Dead?
No.
Who's that? Do you know what I'm talking about? You watch Walking Dead?
No, I'm sorry.
I mean,
I don't
she.
know her name.
I
but
don't know her.
she's famous.
I don't know her name, but she hit.
She's good.
She's been in.
She was in
She was
something.
in. She was in Black Panther.
Yes, and she was in something you were just recently watching. And that person came and checked on her, and she was upset.
I was just watching.
Yes, you were just watching it. I was like, what is
Me?
this? Yes.
And it wasn't How to Get Away with Murder.
I think it was. She was all by herself, and she lost her baby.
No, that's Viola Davis.
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing.
But I know who you're talking about. Yes, she was in Black Panther. I don't know. I can't pronounce her
That
name.
wasn't.
And-
Lupe?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the other one. She's really good too.
This is the one that's the friend of the princess.
Of Black Panther.
She's not the main character. She's not the love interest.
Yeah, the other person.
Yeah.
The bald one.
I don't know her name. Yes.
Oh, she's so good. Oh,
Yes.
She's so good.
And she doesn't get enough props.
She's
either.
strong.
She's
She's
strong.
a
Yes.
beautiful black woman. Oh my god.
That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But my
She's my favorite character in Walking Dead.
my film, this is super hard for me because I like, I'm a movie buff
Mhm.
and I have a fury of movies. If you would ask me this 10 years ago, my number one answer would have been You Got Served.
Really?
I swear to God, I can say
Every line.
every dance move. Me and my cousins used to be in the basement with the dance move. I've seen that movie probably 20 times.
I feel like that about Black Panther. I've literally, The Color Purple, I could definitely do the line of The Color Purple. I could do that. I could start a whole scene right here, right now, if I needed to. But recently, Black Panther, I've been watching it like over and over again. Like if I just like have nothing to do, I'm doing work, I'll put it
Background
on.
noise?
And it's the background noise. Definitely, I love it.
No. If you would asked me 5 years ago, I would have said Life. Life was
That
hilarious.
is probably another movie that people
Don't right.
talk about and don't get too much credit, but you got you got Eddie Murphy, you got Martin Lawrence, you got
I like Eddie Murphy too.
what's my guy's name? Bernie Mac.
You want your cool
I mean, all these characters that are just
I love
excellent.
it.
And there's all these themes in that movie. Oh man, that's one of my favorite movies actually. When I think about movies, I'll play that sometimes. So if it pops up like on the screen, like let's put Life on.
Yeah, I love Life.
Yeah, it's not for the kids though. It's not for the kids.
Yeah.
It's not for the kids. But
No.
but it deals with some really hard themes about life and how you sustain in friendship, what friendship really looks like.
And how black people back then was framed for stuff that they didn't even do.
It talks about the justice system now. To be honest,
To be honest, it's actually
really
a pretty, it stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take a comedy spin on it, but if you look at the
yes,
currents
undertone, yes.
of this message, I mean, like they hadn't killed the man.
Absolutely.
They got blamed falsely for something they didn't do. They ended up, and all of that started because of them being forced into a criminal activity and whatnot. And so, but it was never at the level that they were accused of. And so,
If you haven't seen Life, go see it.
yeah, if you have not seen Life, definitely see that.
Now another movie I love is American Gangster.
Okay.
I love my gangster movies and I like that type of
So
grittiness.
okay, American Gangster. Okay, so see, I go back to some other gangster movies like The Untouchables. Have you seen that?
No.
You got to see that. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. The Untouchables, there's no black people in it, but because it's about Al Capone, I know it's Black History Month. I know you're like, dang, you never messed up Black History
Right.
Month. But really good is well done. So I would say that'd be the first gangster movie that I ever saw that I enjoyed just because it's talking about Elliot Ness. It's like there's some historical.
Now,
Yeah.
kind of this. Have you seen Black Klansman?
Okay.
That's my favorite movie this year.
Really?
I swear I love that movie.
So I started watching. You watched it? Okay. I started watching it, and I'll be
It's
honest.
not really a black film.
Yeah.
It's made by Spike Lee and starring Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah. I started watching it, and I'll be honest with you. It was during the time I wasn't well, so I did fall asleep on it, and I just never
It's
went
fine.
back to it.
You go back to it.
It's a little. It's not.
It starts slow.
Yeah, it's
Start
it's
slow.
kind of slow,
Well,
but it's very good.
I went to the premiere of it.
Okay.
Like the premiere.
Mm.
And just being in a crowd with mostly black people, and they were cheering at the times where
The powerful moments.
the powerful moments. And I'm not gonna get to that really movie theater or at home
Yeah, you're not gonna get that.
because I watched it with her, and
You
can't
fell asleep.
get. I thought I ain't gonna lie,
I was watching it by
asleep.
myself.
Yeah.
But I've seen it 3 times.
But the energy in the room with other people.
Yes.
There's something
yeah.
different
I
about
watched it 3 times, and
Yeah.
when I watched it with her, it was like my 4th.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, and that was time.
Well, and I like that movie too because it brings out two different groups that actually I wrote a whole essay about this recently. About the relationship between Jewish people and African Americans.
Yeah.
And the history between the two. And the two main characters in that movie are a Jewish man and a black.
Yeah.
a
I
black
remember
man.
that. His partner. Yeah.
And
Very good.
there's a lot of underlying themes in both. That I just think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Spike Lee, we're rooting for you.
So if
That first Oscar.
yeah, well, you know what? That'd be great for Spike. But I'm gonna say he got snubbed on Do the Right Thing.
Oh my goodness.
Do the Right Thing
What? Absolutely. That was,
is a classic
that was
movie.
his second movie.
And I think it's not only classic, it's prophetic. It's the stuff we're seeing today in the news, like that's on the news. Spike Lee portrayed that in a community, a neighborhood, and talked about the divides, the racial divide. I think Do the Right Thing needs to be like not reproduced, but brought out again. And people, we need to watch that. I think we need to watch that and then talk about the themes that are seen there, because that community he's talking about, I grew up in those neighborhoods, and so I know what the story he's talking about in a melting pot city like New York. So that's a sleeper. But let me say this: I don't know how much more time we got, but the movie everybody gotta watch because we talked about it already. But we want to talk about it, but we talk about it is The Hate You Give. Gotta watch that.
Haven't seen it.
See that. My family and I, we watched it. Had no response. After. Could not talk. We got in the car, silence. Okay? Because we had a process where I literally had to get home with sitting around Chinese and like, okay, so, because it is that good. So, and it's an even told story. It's so even told that you can hear everybody's perspectives in it.
Even as in like
Racially even, and why we see some of the police brutality, where does that come from? It deals with a lot of themes there, and it honors the black family, the way that we handle conversations and why we have these particular conversations. I think that's a movie that people should see. I actually talked to a friend of mine who watched it, and he said he and his wife, after they watched it, the next day they had to talk about it. He's Caucasian male, his wife is Caucasian female. The next day they had to unpack it, because he found himself in the mix of that. I think everybody can find themselves in there. And I went to the movie theater to see that with my family, and that was interesting being in that environment where there was mostly black people in there, and there were some white people, and the responses to certain things. Like as they were having, oh man, here we go. Somebody just can't hold it in. It's nothing like, okay, let's talk about that.
We're about to watch it right now.
Listen, I'm telling you, you need to go and get that. There's nothing like going to a movie theater though with black people. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. Sometimes I'm so mad because I'm like, come on, just watch the movie. But there's always somebody in the audience who's talking to the screen. So being in a metropolitan city, seeing a movie for the first time, it's really it's just so different because of our cultural comfortableness about talking back to the TV, talking to the screen.
I would also say just it's a public thing in general. I notice at work, when I'm checking somebody out, you could be talking to specifically white people. When you talk to them, they're just unresponsive. They're like, not responding, not actually taking in what you're saying. And then black people, it's just a comfortability of being open. It's just more open in general.
Wow. Well, I'm telling you, it was something just to be in that movie. And then to see as we were leaving, it wasn't this, everybody felt comfortable leaving. So black and white, everybody felt comfortable leaving together because it was so evenly told. So movie tonight, The Hate You Give.
It has been a pleasure. This was fun. This was very informative, and I hope people watching this really learn from this man and this woman. But yeah, if you would like to be on the show, please let me know. Like I said, I like different cultures, not just your skin color, but your mentality. I'm still looking for my first international student to be on the show.
Great.
I'm waiting on it. Nicole, I'm talking to you. But yeah.
Nicole!
Is there any shout outs? I always like to,
I got 5th place track meet, so shout out to myself.
That's good. That's what's up. Shout out to my family. Shout out to all the students at AU, the CRC, Linda, all my peeps. I'm just glad to be here tonight. Shout out to you, Alfonso. Thanks for doing this. This was fun.
no problem. I always shout out my mama because I love her
I know that's right.
every time. But yeah, this has been episode 6. We're gone.